Carol Spigner, who really is the person who initiated this whole quilting thing in the group, she had this meeting, and I met her, and she actually talked to me about quilting, and I was like, well, you know, I've sewn. I used to sew a lot when I was a kid, but I've never really done any quilting, so I was kind of thinking, this might be really easy to do. So she got me started on a little quilt that I did for my first grandchild, so that's how I got started. And then it kind of took off from there.
Being a part of this group has impacted my life because it started me back to quilting again because I had stopped for several years.
What I like best about being in the group is socializing and learning things.
What I like best about being in the group is the camaraderie and the friendliness and just getting together with my quilt sisters to sew and have fun.
The first meeting that I came to, I wasn't sure how I would be received as a white woman, and so I was so grateful for their kindness and their inclusiveness, and I was greeted with hugs and oohs and ahs over the things I brought along, and that's a real special memory for me.
It was an opportunity. You don't pass up opportunity. Why did I join the group? You don't pass up an opportunity, and they are really fabulous ladies. We're all different, but we're all, you know, pretty much retired and older, and we have a good time. And some of them, I think there are a couple that never sewed before, and there are a couple who never made quilts, and there's a couple of us who've been doing it for a long time.
About 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, we were invited to do a quilt show at Fort Hunter Park for their fall festival. And they have always had a quilt show, but they wanted to rotate it around and have a new group present their work. So we ended up doing that quilt show, got a lot of buzz, and we've been back 2 consecutive years.
Some of our charity work has been for Phil Haven. We make pillowcases and we make quilts for children. We recently, last year, started working at the Jazz Festival where we make stuff and we sell it. We have done that for, this will be our 2nd year. This year will be our 4th year of doing the quilt show for Fort Hunter Day, where the public comes in and they look at our quilts hanging up, and if someone wants to sell their quilts at that time, you know, we can sell them. It's just a fun day because I don't think many people know that there are quilters in this area, and we love the relationship we have with the public. They're used to us coming there every year. They look forward to the different quilts, and people have great ideas, and no quilt is the same. You know, you could take the same pattern, but when you change the color of the fabric, it'll look totally different.
So it was sort of out of that relationship with the people at Fort Hunter. When the county commissioners decided that they were going to do a big celebration of the 230th year of the establishment of the county, the people from Fort Hunter, from Parks and Recreation, came to us and said, we'd like to commission you guys to do a quilt documenting the history of the African American experience in Dauphin County. And so we met and we talked about it and we decided to do it.
Yes, Barbara Barnes and Larry Moore met with me in this room several months ago, and they described with me the idea of the quilt that they were making, the history, African American history of Dauphin County for the last 230 years. Now, I already had a PowerPoint presentation based upon the incidents of Black history in the county and the people that had been involved. So what I did was printed out the PowerPoint presentations I had, and I also listed the approximately 77 events that they could use. Now they narrowed that down to just 31 because they had, I think, an 80 by 80 inch space to work with.
Working with the Quilters group with Barbara Barnes and Caleb Jackson has been a pleasure and a delight working with them. So the moral values and what they're doing for the community and self-esteem is very, very high with the quilt group.
What does it mean to me? I can't think of what I would do if I didn't do that, because there's nothing that interests me like that. I mean, quilting is to infinity.
This group has impacted my life by just getting together with friends and sewing and having a good time.
The best part about being in the group is making things, making different things.
How has being a part of the group impacted my life? Well, one thing is I used to always quilt kind of solo. I don't have friends that quilt, and I pretty much quilted alone. I would sometimes show my quilts to other people, but because they weren't quilters, they didn't really get it. Or they would be like, why are you spending so much time on this? Or what are you going to do with this quilt? Don't you have a bedspread? And so it's been amazing for me to be able to quilt and to continue to quilt and to love it as much as I do and not to be ashamed of it, and to feel like there's other people that love it as much as I do.
You're always able to learn something new, and they make you want to try new things. So, and that carries on into, the rest of my life, just trying something new, whether it be mixing colors together, looking at fabrics, choosing something that you would not ordinarily choose.
What I like best about being in the group is our socialization of having fun, enjoying each other's company, and accepting what we do in a positive way.
I'll take the Nike advice, just do it. Because the more you do it, the better you get. Quilting is, it's an experience that evolves with each quilt. So you have an idea, you see something you like, you buy some fabric, and maybe the fabric that people advised you to buy, or maybe some other fabric. And you do the blocks and you say, wow, those blocks are nice. Then you put the blocks together and you say, God, I had no idea this was going to come out that way. So it has a kind of creative and exciting process. What I made 10 years ago looks probably pretty crappy now, but I started. And I got to be able to do the kind of stuff I can do now. And the thing about quilting is there's always more to learn. There are always more things to put together in different ways. And so it's limitless in a way. We welcome people. We tend to meet the fourth Saturday of every month except Christmas, I think. We do have a web page that you can go to, and we just welcome everyone. Come join us, come play with us, come feel fabric with us, everyone's welcome.